My goodness, the New York Giants. What a poverty franchise. What a rough year they had. They were 3-14 in 2024. Sheesh. This team sucked, but it's okay. It's fine. New York Giants Nation, relax, relax, relax. I'm not coming for your necks too much, but I do have a concern for you. You don't have a QB. Now, you don't have a QB and you don't have the situation exactly that is very kind to a QB. I'm talking about in terms of the offensive line. However, you do have some bright spots. Andrew Thomas, if you restructure his deal, that gives you some cap space. You got Malik Neighbors. You got a Brian Burns, a Dexter Lawrence. You got some good players on this team. It's all about getting the head honcho, the QB. Now, what can you do? Well, when I first started doing research, I thought to myself, why would they draft a QB if they're not ready? They're not ready to have a QB. But then I thought about it for a second. What exactly? What other QB right now? Because Matthew Stafford is now off the books. What QB right now could you bring in that could really make this team look a lot better than what a Shedeur Sanders or a Cam Ward would? I'll give you the straight answer. It's not going to look pretty either way, okay? So with that being said, I'll say this. I'll say this about the Giants. You're at pick number 3. You have two options here. You could let the Titans pick and hope and pray they don't get a QB or the player that you want, or you could trade up to number 1 overall pick. In my opinion, I don't think in my opinion, I don't know. I really don't know if these QBs, Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders, are worth trading up for, considering your situation. But given that you don't have a QB, you might not have a choice. So what you got to do, you got to trade up. Shedeur Sanders is right there. I was biting back on Malik, Matt, my other partner, Matt from Between the Uprights, my favorite person in the world. Matt said that he likes Shedeur Sanders to the Giants, and I was biting back on it. I really was, but he made a fair point. I think he's more suited to handle the stress of the New York media than a Cam Ward is. And it's not because Cam Ward doesn't receive any scrutiny from the media, but I mean, Shedeur Sanders has been dealing with media attention like crazy for his whole life. So I think if anybody can handle the New York media, it's Shedeur Sanders. I think that's a match made in heaven. And I agree with Matt. I think you go and you draft a Shedeur Sanders. You trade up and you draft Shedeur Sanders. I do think that it's going to create, I do think it's going to, it's going to be very odd, considering the fact that it's odd because Shedeur Sanders is probably my second favorite QB in the draft. I like Cam Ward better, but I don't think that the New York Giants want Cam Ward. I think they really do want Shedeur Sanders. I really do think they do. So that's step 1. You got to draft a QB. I think it's Shedeur Sanders. Next up, a corner. Here are your corners: Drew Phillips, Cordell Flott, Deontay Banks, and Dane Belton. You guys need a corner so unbelievably bad, and I think you have to sign one. You need to. You have look. Drew Phillips had a solid year. Cordell Flott solid, but do I want to rely on them as cornerback ones? Absolutely the hell not. I do not. So you got to go get one. Well, this is a perfect free agency class to get one. You got Carlton Davis, DJ Reed, Byron Murphy Jr. A great cornerback class. You got to go out and get one of them. Now, once you sign this corner, it's the way you sign them. You already have a lot of cap space, but to give you more cap space to fill all the other holes, restructure. I already said it. Restructure Andrew Thomas. I think restructuring Brian Burns is very important. I think restructuring Dexter Lawrence is also very important. I think if you restructure all those contracts, you have room to make changes to your offensive line. Oh my God, this offensive line is so bad. Get a guard. Please get a guard. You guys have no guards. No guards that you can trust at least. The guards on the New York Giants are bad, and the offensive line in general is bad. By restructuring these contracts, you get to, one, bolster that offensive line to be so much better than it is right now, because quite frankly, this offensive line just is not good, ladies and gentlemen. It just isn't. And two, what it gives you the chance to do is bolster this offensive line to the point where you give Shedeur Sanders time to throw to these weapons. Your weapons aren't bad. Wan'Dale Robinson, you got Malik Neighbors. Look, that wide receiving core is not bad at all to start. So you get a rookie QB behind that, a better offensive line than what you were going to do. Promise you, it's going to be a lot more watchable this year. But I don't think you need to sign a QB. I don't think you should. I don't think you want to bring in a Sam Darnold. I think you draft a Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward. You go out there, you sign a corner, you do some restructures, you sign offensive linemen, and bring in and finally bring happiness to your franchise, because your franchise sucks. It does suck, but bringing in Shedeur Sanders might make it suck a little bit less. So with that being said, I don't know how big of a leap this team takes if they do what I just said. I do think they don't win 3 games, that's for sure. But I also think they win. I also don't think they make the playoffs, given the NFC East being so much better than it has looked. So, look, at this point, you're looking for a direction. I feel like last couple of years, you guys have been just going down super, super fast. So, time to shed the skin off the Daniel Jones contract, shed the skin off the Saquon Barkley contract, shed all that skin, and it's time to lock in, ladies and gentlemen, the Giants.
This has been Between the Uprights. Football is life. The rest is just details.